Okay, we've got some minutes from the October 7th meeting. Any additions or corrections?
Everything in order.
I like Fred's minutes. First month, right? Make a motion.
They're easy, huh, Fred? Sure.
Motion to approve.
That was a motion, PJ?
Yep.
Second.
Okay. PJ?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
John?
No report.
Did you make something up?
Been relatively quiet night.
You got together with KCE on their storage building and everything's all in order.
A few things we need to address, but we're all on the same page.
Okay. PJ?
I'm going to pass on my report as well. I spent most of it on that.
Okay, just like to make an additional comment on the amendment. One thing is like I said, there were references to the fact that yes, this was done specifically because of the patio, and any of the trustees come up to you and say, "Hey, what can you do for a noise amendment? This is something you guys did on your own."
We were just trying to clean up the language. That's all we were doing.
Right. But, again, does it affect them? Yes, it does. And despite the fact we do have the court order, which I want to work with first, nonetheless, this does apply to establishments with a D license. So we would prefer not to have to do this. We'd like to go through the existing, agreement that we have with these people.
Well, the enforcement, though, with patio comes with the judge.
Correct.
It doesn't come. That's not in our hands. The enforcement comes from the court order. And so that's where we need to have Mr. Kidco take a written complaint. He may say, I want to come here as a violation or whatever. And then he needs to take that to the judge, and the judge then now has to make a rule. And it's just, unfortunately, was the only viable answer that the board had. The real option, as I said earlier, was to just give away all control and just give it to the court. And we certainly didn't want to do that.
Can I make an additional comment? If, for instance, obviously I'm going to file a violation with Frank later this week when I'm working at home. Mm-hmm. How will I or anybody else find out, okay, a violation has been filed with Frank, and at that point will Frank take it to the court? And how can we find out what the ruling of the judge is so that we know that the complaints that we file with Frank are taken to the judge takes them seriously instead of...
Well, first of all, it's not my impression that there's going to be a bunch of complaints that get hauled up to the judge.
Okay.
We're going to expect, hey, this is a violation, and I'm sure that the judge I can't speak for what the judge is going to do, but I'm assuming that the judge is going to act with the owners of the establishment.
Okay.
But I can't tell you what he's going to do.
I'm not asking
just
to
like,
say what he's going to do,
but I'm just saying,
find out the results.
We all hope we know what he's going to do, but this is why we at least have this as an alternative, whereas before we didn't even have this.
Well, I said, we can help you track this.
Okay, well, that's what I'm interested in.
You know,
That
I'll directly work with Frank to, get a complaint into him.
Okay.
Once it's into him, I'll call him tomorrow. I'll leave a message so that he knows it's coming in. I said, we want to track this down, see how this is going to pan out, and see if this doesn't work. And it's like, well, this was 2 weeks ago. The judge may say, I can't do something from 2 weeks ago. Okay, are they playing right now? So then we have to work with the judge to find out what we have.
Personally, I think you need to get that sheriff's report.
I am going to get
right, and you attach that with that.
Right.
And if in fact if they say, well, we can't witness. The sheriff guy says, well, I don't witness it or something.
He did, and it's in the report.
We'll make sure that we get a witness.
Well, I don't want to get down to a point, quite frankly, of a he said, she said.
No, we can't. It has to be.
But in the same respect, the outside source or a third party who is completely oblivious and nonpartisan to the issue, such as the sheriff,
exactly,
specifically told me that I shouldn't call him about this again. But then, if I say, do you see where I'm at this
he's
point?
not aware of the scenario.
Right. I tried to explain to him, and I had the document, because
right.
I always have the document. I showed it to him. He says, well, this is a civil matter. And I said, I understand that, but I wanted it to be on the record.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you did the right thing.
Right.
I really do.
And I realize now we have the avenue to call you.
Sure.
And, to respond. That way you can witness it, but that doesn't discount our ability to witness anything and our word be taken at any less value than what they think or they say they're doing or what. It's a he said, she said. And I don't want to get into that.
That vehicle's going to be Mr. Kitco.
Right.
As far as I know,
understand that.
There was only one complaint that came to the office.
Right.
Okay? And it never got to my phone, but Frank went down there and talked to the owners that night.
Yeah.
Okay? So, it was responded to. Now, I don't know if this was the one she was talking about or the one...
It wasn't me. I didn't know what my... That's why I came
so
here, because I didn't know what my...
Where she called everybody,
right.
that's the one Frank responded to.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't know what my recourse was, and I called the sheriff, specifically to the point of getting it on the record. And hopefully they could do something. They said, no, we're allowed to play our music, till 10 o'clock. And I says, well, they're not, because no live music. He goes, can't do anything about it.
Again, keep in mind, it's no live music outside. Not no live music.
Well, again, here's the definition. What's the definition of outside? They open up the garage door and they have a guy playing inside of the garage door.
If they got somebody inside that garage door, that's outside.
That was outside. He noted that in the report. Okay, I just want to know what are my avenues, what I'm supposed to do. You guys have made it clear what I should do. But I still think that it's irresponsible for the sheriff not to respond, because that's a third party that's outside of and not party to or opinionated in the issue. And they they basically told me, you should not call us about this anymore. And I think that's a matter with the sheriff, but I think it's a disservice to all the people that pay taxes here to not respond and note it in a report or something, because then we have verifiable proof where we can attach, instead of coming in on Monday morning and saying, oh, I want to file a complaint, and I could just be making it up, quite frankly.
Exactly, we can't have that. But are you saying that you do have a report or you don't have a report?
I filed a report.
But you never got the copy yet.
I didn't get the copy.
So we don't really know what he said.
Well, I saw him type it in.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So we do know what he said.
Right. But the thing is, I thought I could get it online.
All right.
And naturally, I went online this morning.
We'll just get the report tomorrow.
I got the report number. I can get it. I can call you and give you the report number. I don't have it with me right now.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you my work number, because during the day that's the easiest to get a hold of me.
Okay.
Okay, it's 216-464-4670.
4670.
Okay.
No, the township position is that we expect them to obey the court order.
And I would hope so. That's all I want, is for them to live by the rules by
Right.
which the agreement was made.
And not bending it.
They're playing the line, and to me, I expressed this initially when we were going through this whole thing with the boarding zone of appeals, as well as with you when we had the meetings and public hearings about it. It's give them an inch and take a mile and see what you can get away with without somebody complaining about it. And
Well,
you know,
we did have an issue, to be quite honest with you, with the fence. But it was addressed, and within an hour it was...
Frank came down there. I called.
So, we are not unaware of what you're describing.
I watch it every day, and that's the unfortunate part.
But on the other hand, we have to follow the protocol. You know that.
I understand
The
that.
hard part about being a trustee board is there's three of us,
Yeah.
and you're not always obviously you can't speak for three people. If you can discuss things, it's got all written down, what we agree on. So what I'm saying is just where I was at in this whole item, and I'm sure the guys will pretty much agree with me. If not, they'll sure they'll let me know. Is we're trying to find a middle road for everyone. Okay, I understand where you're coming from, and would I want to have to deal with this? No. Do we want to have to, if we had done nothing, gone to court, and even if we won, okay, fine, they don't get a patio. They can open their doors up, they can put a 20-piece band there, and play it as loud as they want, 24/7.
Not 24/7, but I know the spirit of what you're saying.
Yeah.
By law, a pre-existing non-conforming is allowed a reasonable expansion. Now, what's the definition of reasonable? There's the area where you got to negotiate. You, by law, allow a reasonable expansion.
I don't want to go into all the specifics, but
That's all
many
water under
hours.
the bridge, quite frankly, right now.
No, but I just want you to know that we
But that was
spent
a
many
justification
hours
on why we went that direction.
negotiating with them, and of course, as I said earlier, what they were asking for was way
Well, they're asking for the world, as they
worse
should.
than what we would ever agree to. That's how that was a negotiation.
Right.
We also had to remember, though, that if we just said no, the consequences were probably pretty great. That they would get something much more lenient than what we agreed to. And, that's that whole thing before you walk into the courtroom. Are you going to make this agreement or are you going to not?
Well, are you going to take the plea deal?
Do you want to let this
Go to
guy
the
over
jury.
here make the decision or not? To be very honest with you,
regardless,
we made some pretty good progress.
It's water under the bridge because the agreement has been made.
It is. It's done. It's
Okay.
a court order.
Now we just have to work to figure out how we're going to keep this enforced.
That's what I want to understand, and I think that everybody, obviously all of the residents in near proximity, should understand what their rights are. Who can they call? Can they call the sheriff? I think it behooves the Board of Trustees to talk with the Sheriff Department, explain the situation, and I think they should be amicable to at least taking a report and verifying a report so that it's a third-party situation. That's what we pay our taxes for the sheriff to respond to us. And they're not down there very often. So.
There are law enforcement. The sheriff is more in the township a lot more than the average resident thinks.
Okay.
We have call reports every month, so it's
Okay.
It's not. To be very honest with you, we had a break-in at Adam Hall. They were there in I think 3 minutes. So, but we are beyond any of the steps of this zoning amendment. We're already at the legal. We already have the legal remedy here. To follow something under this, you're starting at step one. We're on past step one. Right now, we're directly talking to the guy that is the judge who we end up at in the end otherwise. Where that would take a year maybe to reach.
and let's say they had a band playing, and all of a sudden the zoning inspector comes up and he's starting to get his equipment out, and you're sitting there watching him and say, okay, we'll keep it this loud for you while you take all your measurements.
Nah, ain't happening.
Yeah, ain't happening.
You know that.
There you go. Oh,
Yeah.
no noise.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, court order, is that indefinite unless amended? So whatever was passed, unless it's amended, that's the way everything stands?
That's the agreement.
Or Auburn Township's in business, as long as both parties are still
It's still, okay.
there. You know.
Okay. All right.
I'll concede the rest of my time, not that I have any left.
Fred, what do you have for us?
Just a couple of items. We've got warrants 1257 through 1283 presented to the board for approval and execution, totaling $27,843.56. Just a note to the board, we are getting low on appropriated funds for operations. It's that time of the year, particularly for admin sources. So just will be. I don't think we need to make a. We could make a motion to appropriate, say, $5,000 for operating supplies expenses.
If that would be helpful, I mean, I don't see any big things coming up, but I mean, we might. You never know.
Right.
So
moved.
Okay.
second.
Second.
PJ second.
PJ?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Okay.
Can I ask one more thing here, please?
Sure.
Okay, whatever happened to Wing Road paving? It was supposed to have been done this year.
No.
Last meeting I was here probably about 8-10 months ago.
No.
It was on the list.
Yeah, it is on the list. It's part of the program to convert the chips to paved surfaces. We have a couple issues with Wing Road. It's not where it's supposed to be.
Okay.
And so we actually had the engineer do a survey. And north of your house is, as you get up...
That's why all the markers are down.
Yeah,
All
that's
Wing
when they
Road.
came up and did that, right. And so actually we'll have to look at that and see, it's still within the right-of-way, which is a big plus. We actually have encountered roads that weren't even, we're encroaching outside of the right-of-way. But actually it's part of our program to upgrade the chips, and but no, it wasn't it's on the radar screen, but we're not it's not on the immediate future. I mean, like this year, it was never part of a project. So
When he was here, we did mention potential paving down the road. Cause I
yeah,
remember,
it is.
I
Yeah,
remember.
because I
did.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that.
Yep, we did.
Yeah. Actually, it'll be it's going to be a major project.
It's still in good shape, but I just wondered.
And that's why we want to do it, because it is a great base, and we want to just put what we call leveling course on it, and like we've done on several other what we call the township through roads, and we have it on the radar screen here. We're working with the engineers. It's not scheduled for next year. I can tell you that right now as a project.
Well, it's better than it was with dirt, and if it is paved, they're just going to go faster.
We do have some guardrails. We already have the guardrails that are going to go up there, and that'll be part of that project. And there's a couple of culverts up there that are down, 17, 18 feet. So it's not just something we can slap and go like run a leveling course. There's a little more to that project.
And since it will be going through the middle of your living room, we want to see what colors of asphalt were available so we can coordinate.
Yeah, I like to see some blends with my house.
It's on the way. It's definitely on the way, and
I just wondered because I assumed it was going to be done, but I mean it's still at least over here, we're still in
out of that
pretty
chip
good shape,
seal.
you know?
Yeah, it's just one of the reasons we want to get rid of those chip seals is that they're about 4 times more expensive to maintain because the chip seal, I mean, we've stretched them to 4 years, but we really need something we can, like an asphalt surface, some of them we've been able to stretch to 17 and 18 years, and that's more cost effective. So while you were there for the dirt days, and the chip seal is way, way cheaper than the dirt to maintain. I mean, we used to spend $200,000 a year on gravel every year, and it would be gone. And so we made that improvement. We do have a good base on wing because we didn't do tons of pothole repair and all that sort of stuff up there. So we're happy with that. So that is going to be part of our continuing to changing the chips into paved surfaces. So, but we'll, keep you informed on that. We will be meeting with the engineers here again and just dial in the exact projects. Right now, though, for next year, there's some repaving of subdivisions that are in the, we can't lose those roads, let them go back to gravel. And so some of them are up into the 18 to 20 year ranges. So we're going to do we do about 2 miles of paving each year, and then we're trying to sneak in the conversions of a chip to a paved road whenever we can. So, and we keep that online too, the road program. Every year we repost it and as we change it. So, a couple other things we had. We're going over the trucks and getting ready to do some plowing. And we did have to, on Jim's old truck, the air tanks had some holes in them. Emery put in a requisition. To be honest with you, we had to go ahead and order the parts. I authorized them this morning to get that taken care of. So we're going to take the truck up to Lake Truck. They told us they'd sneak it in and get that ready. We still have 4 trucks we could field if we needed to. I don't think we'll need to. Yeah. Well, the roads, the ground temperature's pretty warm still. So, but other than that, we did complete the patching, and I think we are very pleased with how our surface has held up. Emmerich has been out, and he kind of drew the short straw. They take turns, every year, somebody going out and running a leaky Pete around. But we're doing this year is a berm year, and we're mowing back all the berms as well. And so those heirloom trees that people have that are growing up on the back side of the ditches, we are cutting them all down before they grow up to be 3 or 4 inch heirloom trees that end up being ones that Grandma planted when she first saw Auburn Township. And so anyway, it's real important to do that, to keep the grass and the weeds out of the ditches so we have places to plow snow too, and keep the drainage running. So I think he's got another week or 2 on there if I understood him correct. So that's pretty much where we are. Other than that, I think the trucks are going to be in good shape. We want to kind of keep proceeding on the idea to replace Emmerich's truck. And we're not trying to spend, we had to do a radiator core on it. It was a couple $100. But we're trying to not do any major repairs to that. And we've done a little bit of initial investigation here. I'd like to design a truck just like the truck we just built from Mike. And so we're getting some state bids in for the equipment, matching it up.
Do they bid that annually?
Yes. What times? What first
I don't,
year?
Chief PJ, I don't know what day that bid goes out, but for example, on the chassis, the discount for the state bid's around $28,000, I think.
I just wondered
Yeah.
what times the models come out. I don't know.
Yeah, you got the, of course we got to do, the big issue is you buy a chassis, you still have to buy a body. And, the quarter-inch floors, mild steel floors have been working out really well. So we want to still stick with a heavier floor, do the stainless box, and pretty much a duplicate of Mike's truck, light packages and all that kind of stuff. We're looking at delivery of a vehicle, though, sometime in, July. If we got it ordered in the next month or two, so July or August.
Probably make the last payment on one truck in April.
So we really, this is a good opportunity for us to replace that truck.
Emmerich truck 19.
Yeah. So the air cylinders are for Ryan's truck. Jim Full truck, and the radiator was for Emmerich truck. So anyway, we'll get everything gone over, and we'll be in good shape. We have this disability policy that is from Kanawha. It's actually a Humana policy, I
think there's so many mergers.
Right.
That's where it went to, yeah.
We had some discussion on this a year ago. The benefits of it are very, very minor compared to the cost of it. We did have Jim obviously was able to collect some on it. But that would be the only Jim, and then Emmerich about 15 years
2000, and then if I'm not mistaken, we had a previous employee that's no longer here that collected in the early 90s.
What's your guys' thoughts on this?
I did some work on this today.
Not to give away the story here as to what we personal finances, but it's $250 a week after you get your disability for 26 weeks. It's also got a small life insurance, $10,000, and accidental death, this one, $10,000. Township picked this up in '85, and we revisited this in the mid-90s. When there was some talk of change to a sick day policy. We don't allow any accrual of sick days. You get 20, get that 160 hours a year, and that's it. You can't carry them over. And this is kind of fresh in my mind because of Jim Hewitt's situation. There was talk amongst some employees and the road guys as well, donating sick days at that time, which we don't allow that per our policy manual either. Like I said, I did a significant amount of work on this in my first term here, and we really haven't come back to it. The cost has gone up. For 7 employees, we're going to be paying, the current bill is going to be $298 a month. And if you break that down, divide by the 7 employees, and you figure 160-hour work days, or hours per month work, comes to about 26 cents an hour. Having just collected on this last year, and having gotten some feedback from that employee, I'm uncomfortable taking this away.
Well, I think it's, my view is, I personally, we've paid 30 or 40 times the benefits in premiums. And I think you're paying an awful high dollar for that insurance, when in fact, we do have an excellent medical program, and we also have these guys are all covered, obviously, under workers' comp.
That's if they're injured on the job.
Right.
Right.
Well, if you're injured at home, you have the medical insurance.
And we're talking about disability.
Right.
Okay, devil's advocate. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of on his side on this because today I canceled all my life insurance policies because I've been paying them for 40 years and I haven't died yet. It's a waste of money.
Nobody wants to pay
I
an
just got rid
insurance
of them.
policy. That's nobody wants to pay an insurance policy.
Well, I think we could probably put a program in place that would be a lot less expensive to the township that could cover the same thing, or maybe some other type of
Yeah,
insurance.
I'd be inclined to
But I
evaluate.
think this particular one is not valid anymore.
I'd be inclined to look at different
I'm just
options.
saying, this is a benefit to the job. It's something that the employees have received now for 28 years. That's a real rough, rudimentary calculation, 26 cents an hour. I understand that. But
I'd say if we can
it's
get
26 cents an hour.
Yeah. If we can find something, take a look and we'll see what's available that would accomplish the same thing. Okay? Yeah, they've earned this, they took this job, the job came with benefits, a benefit package, an hourly rate, this is part of it. I'm not inclined to take something away from an employee without replacing something of equal value. So, if we were to even go to the employee and say, okay, it's 26 cents an hour, you're going to have an additional 26 cents an hour, get rid of this or something like that to evaluate. I would have no problem with that. Something we may want to do is see what the options are to do this, whether it be replacing it.
Yeah, and like I said, it's been close to 20 years, 16, 17 years anyway, since we really did some number crunching on this. And we had...
I think Cross and Rubik knew what they were doing.
Yeah, we had some... again, you remember the character here. I had spreadsheets for different sick day policies from across the county.
Yeah.
And so we took kind of an average and we put a number on that for when you can accrue them to X amount. And all townships, every employer's tightened up on those since then. I understand that. And at the time, like I said, some of these townships and villages were so loose with this stuff that this was by far cheaper to stay with this policy.
Yeah.
Well, I remember we addressed this a couple of years ago because Aflac came in here and was trying to set this policy.
Right. And they were crazy high.
Yeah, the Aflac was much higher than this, which is why we stayed with
Right. Well, no, that was an employee thing. They opted not to do that.
Yeah, that was.
We also did a little census here earlier, and it was the consensus of people. They thought that it was not a good value for us. I guess that you have to make a decision one way or another because if you're, it's a yearly thing, and you have to notify them that you want to cancel it.
When's the cancellation date?
I actually saw that bill on her desk earlier today. I don't know if the copy
I don't know
is
off the top
out
of my
there.
head, but I think it's within the next 30 days.
Yeah. Is it within 30 days?
It's fairly soon.
Like I said, if we had to vote tonight, I'm going to vote no. Because I'm not going to take away something that was offered to these guys that was part of the package when we hired them. Without, said, having some replacement or some alternate method of covering the situation.
Okay. Let me know tomorrow what our drop-dead date is on this time frame, and maybe we can talk to the troops and see if they have, tell them what we've got invested in this, and if they have any ideas of what they would rather have as opposed to this policy. For the same cost.
We'll just have to make a determination at the next meeting.
Right.
Yeah, that's like I said, did a little work on it. Did a lot of work on it way back when, but times have changed. I understand that, but we're going to be according to what we're doing for these people too.
Okay. Does anybody want to take any action on ZC 2013-01?
We got 20 days to vote. So we started the clock when we closed the public hearing. I could vote tonight. Till 4th if you want.
I think we can vote tonight. I think
Spend a lot of time on this.
we spend a lot of time. We're on the same page of it. I'll make a motion to approve as amended.
As modified.
As modified.
That's going to require a unanimous vote. I'll second.
Okay, PJ,
I vote yes.
Mike,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Go back to the troops and let them know.
So Fred, that's going to require you to
It goes to recorder's office or something. I got my cheat sheet there somewhere. Well, actually, it's effective in 30 days after the date of the adoption, unless a referendum petition is presented. Within 5 days of its amendment of the effective date, copies shall be filed by the board with the recorder. So yeah, you got like 35 days.
Okay, one other topic we had here is, we had discussed earlier this year, we wanted to open up the park. We had a lot of people interested in looking at what accomplishments we've made. We do have the building pretty much underway up there, and so we were looking at November 2nd. Maybe for a couple of hours in the morning and early afternoon, maybe 10 to 2 or something like that. And people want to, I know several people asking me all along, would like to just come up and see what's going on. So what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think it's a good idea. I hope the weather's going to be good.
Well, we'll do it rain or shine.
Yep.
Or
That too.
Tornadoes and you name it.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
Okay. So you want to do Saturday the 2nd? 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I'll make that a motion.
Okay. Second.
PJ,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
John.
Yes. Okay. Anything else? Any other comments? Yes.
thank you. Had to check that out. Fred, I'm interested in the 3 warrants, 1274, 1278, and most especially 1279.
Can you tell me what those were?
Sure enough. 1274 is a Brennan flower. 1278 is a radix. And 1279 is Todd lamb.
Todd Land Paving and Excavating. I believe that was for a chip seal, John.
It was for patching.
It was patching. All right. Did that require a bid? No.
You said 1274 and 1275, Diane?
1274 and 1278.
1278 was for fertilizing the playing fields at the park.
Okay, so that's okay.
And 1274, I would have to actually pull that invoice to be here and tell you.
It was $165 for Berman flowers.
That was for the monthly administration of our HRA accounts, our healthcare accounts.
Anybody else? Any further motions, gentlemen?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
PJ?
Yes, remember to vote early and often. I guess we do that the next meeting, don't we?
Mike?
Yes.
And John?
Yes.